Hey there, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Paint Party Livestream. It's so good to be with you in studio yet again this Monday night. I hope your week is kicked off to a great start and that you're having a great week so far. It is really warm here in the mountains of western South Dakota. All the windows are open, but it's about 85 degrees and kind of sticky. We're not used to humidity, so it is a little rough, but in the next few hours, it's gonna cool down, and then the rest of the week will be a little bit cooler. But under these lights, it is pretty toasty. But I'm excited to be here again in the studio with you. If you've been here before, you know how this works. It is my Learn to Paint journey. So I started live streaming probably about 4 or 5 years ago when I started teaching myself to paint, and I meet every week with you here. You can participate in the live stream wherever you're watching via the comments on whatever platform you find us on. You can ask questions, you can make comments. I really enjoy interacting with you as we go through the evening. So feel free to chime in in the comments. These last few weeks, we have been working on master studies or sections of a master study of sections of a painting by Thomas Moran. Thomas Moran was a early American artist, probably in the 1880s, 1890s, 1870s. He came across the prairie and explored this part of the world, Colorado, South Dakota, Wyoming, and he did some beautiful landscapes, these kind of epic landscapes. And so I have been working the last 3 weeks on sections of one of his paintings to really learn more about not only his process, but his color choices, all of the things, because I want to be able to take those skills into my own work. And so we're going to continue that this evening, and I'll show you exactly what I mean and exactly what we're going to do. Let me jump over to my other camera and then we'll get things set up. I'll put this over my canvas so you can kind of see what we're doing this evening. All right, so we'll switch you here and I will get this turned around so that you can see my canvas. All right, let's see here. And I will put up the images on your screen so you can see what is going on. Okay. Let me see if I can. Yeah, I'll just do that. Okay. So we have, this is the master image. Oh, whoops. The master image of what we're painting. So you can see the whole painting, this landscape. It is a giant, giant painting, but we're just taking sections of it and breaking it down. And so tonight we're going to work on this section. You'll notice, if you're really paying attention, last week we did the right hand part of this painting. So last week we worked on, this is what we painted last week. You'll see that kind of on the edge there. This week, I've extended that out, this direction, so that we can get more of the dynamics of that rock formation. And so that is what we're gonna work on this evening. And it will be good to paint again, for me to paint again, part of what I've already painted and see if there's anything I've learned, if I can do it more easily. So let me get this set up. All right, this is my palette you can see here. And then let me do that. I will shrink this down a little bit. You can see my, let's go there. All right. And to the left here, I just have a printed version of what you see in the middle of your screen, the right of your screen here. So that is my reference. And again, feel free to chat, say hi, ask questions as we go through the evening. I would love to interact with you as we go through the evening. Okay. I had a few minutes earlier and I was working on another painting commission that I'm working on. So let me get this all switched around. That's why there's already paint on my palette. But let's see what we can do. I'm gonna wipe some of this off. Start from scratch, sort of. Since the color palette is quite different from this painting than what we were doing. Let's see. Okay, we need orange, yellow. All my oranges, all my yellows. Let me put on my gloves. We'll get going. I printed this actually bigger than I meant to, so that is gonna... Welcome, welcome. I see a few more people popping in. It's so good to have you on the stream. Feel free to chime in, say hello. I can just see that people have joined. I can't see who is here, but it's great to have you. All right, I am gonna see if we can. I'm gonna move this a little bit, so hang with me. Okay, there you go. That way I can... Sorry about that. Hope it doesn't make you ill. Welcome, welcome, everybody who's just joining. Let's get this started. And first thing I want to do is kind of draw out the main dimensions. Let's get a basic drawing on. Let's just get a basic drawing on the canvas. So, mixing a little burnt umber. What I should do is probably do a. Probably should be in a yellow ochre. That's what I should be doing. It's just habit to go for the burnt umber, but there's no reason to do that when we are going to be doing kind of oranges. All right, let's see. Oranges and reds, really. Okay, so what we want to do is kind of go right across here. And then it will go right here. Okay, so that gives us kind of our top, kind of. See what's going on. Okay. Kind of in there somewhere. Sort of. So we want to kind of go pretty close. I generally have a decent eye for these things, so kind of right in there, I think is where that. Something like this, I think, is kind of what we're going for. So let's can always welcome everybody. So glad to have you. I'm realizing that I need, it's warm, warm, warm. I was hoping it would cool down. It kind of clouded over a little bit. I was hoping that the temps would drop, but you want the temps to drop, but you don't want them to drop too fast, because then we get, if it comes over the mountains and drops, then we get hail, and we can get some pretty nasty hail, so don't necessarily want that. And I just want to run, get basically the basic drawing in. So let's kind of that's one of the challenges of this, is to get some really dramatic but very subtle shifts in value. You can see those trees down there at the left, like how big this painting is. Well, and the trees come across here. It's like how big this painting is. It's kind of crazy. Pretty amazing. All right, I think we have fairly nice drawing. So let's start laying in some keys, which is the way of saying, let's start laying in some judgment points. And the first one I want to do is the sky, the sky, the sky. So we're going to take little turquoise and some brown. We're going to mix this. We definitely need brown. Y'all are quiet tonight. Everybody had a crazy week, maybe? Crazy start to the week? Okay. Get a little bit darker. It's about the right shade, though. Just need it a little bit darker. Tad. It's a little bit too white. Okay, let's key this in. This will be pretty opaque, but the original is, so I don't feel too bad. I think we need more paint. That's one thing I am trying to get used to, because when I started painting, just putting little bits in here, but I realized that in order to really cover significant space, you need lots of paint. So I need to mix much more paint to be able to load up the brush. Enough paint to cover. Okay. Especially on this canvas paper. I'm just painting on canvas paper to save panels because these are just studies and I won't keep them, or I won't ever display them or sell them, or, Even though Thomas Moran, I think, is in the public domain at this point, we will just learn what we can from him. Oof. It is toasty. by putting this sky up against these mountains helps me to then gauge the value of the mountains. When we want to go in and excuse me, I'm sneezing. Sorry about that, right into the microphone. Okay. Getting everything pretty covered, at least for that initial coverage. And I want to try a technique this week that I heard of on a YouTube video recently. And it's basically, as you're doing the block in, doing one section at a time on the painting and not over painting or not blending or doing anything to the painting until the whole canvas is covered. I am gonna change my fan settings because I'm dying up here. Wish we could get like a really good breeze. That would be so nice. So I think what I want to do is then go here from here and do this shadows. So let's just mix that. It's like a kind of a purple. So let's do some red. Some yellow ochre. I think we need some, I almost pulled the camera off the rack. Ooh, this phone is getting really hot. If my phone bails on me, I apologize. We will see if it just shuts down, if it gets too hot, because it's charging as we go, but I'm telling you, it is really warm in this attic. Wonder if okay, well, we'll see. We'll see. Won't worry about it till it happens. Okay. We need this purple color. Let's see, what is this color? It really is kind of a diffused purple. So we'll mix some brown with it. See, a little bit more red. Ugh, I think that just messed me up. That red is so powerful, that alizarin crimson. I'll try to mix some green to cut that a little bit. Oh, actually, it's not too bad. It's crazy because this looks very pink to me, but it's not on the... And again, remember, I'm going to try to, until the canvas is covered, I'm going to try not to mix. It is a little bit lighter. Down here we have some atmospheric things going on. Okay. Well, I'm going to keep moving. I'm not going to mess around too much. Something down here, there is some little purple. Okay. Now, I am going to mix some orange. But I'm going to do a little orange on the palette. This is cad orange, a little bit of cad yellow deep. Ooh, that's really too much. And some, yeah, I think that should be good for now. Hey, Shirley, thank you for popping in. Glad to see you. Hope things are going well. Okay, so I'm gonna mix this and this and see what happens. What do we get? Is it close? Orange. It's a little. Now notice when I want to lighten this up, I'm going to use some of this cad yellow deep because it will lighten the chroma of this pigment without diluting the intensity. So that's what we're trying to do. Oh, really? Cool. I work Wednesday during the day, but then I'm playing a funeral on Friday. And my first funeral on the organ. It will be interesting. Or my first anything, really. Well, no, I've done some little things, but first service that I am all responsible for. So it should be interesting. Hey, Kim. We're swapping live streams today. Y'all, Kim is my colleague and friend locally, and we work together selling clothes online. And I popped into her work live stream today, and now she's popping into my not work live stream. It's good to see you, my friend. Thanks for coming to return the favor. Appreciate it. Looked like you had a great show, or you had the starts of a great show when I was there. I could not sell McDougal, saved my life the other day during the day. I was like, this is not working. Is it okay to be excited for you to play an organ at the funeral? I'm more nervous, not nervous, I guess. You don't want to mess up somebody's memorial. You know how that is. So that's, yeah. But this was somebody, it's a former priest at the Episcopal Church. And I knew my friend Dean told me he was not well and this would come eventually. And Dean asked me, Dean's the one who usually plays organ, but he is not a keyboardist. He's a vocalist. And he was a friend of this man. So he asked me months ago, when the time comes, would you be willing to play the organ? And I said, yes. So I'm grateful to be able to support my friend that way. That makes a huge difference. Yeah, I wondered if you had some buyers, resellers in, because I was like, there were like 20, 30 people, but they were just sitting watching. They were not having it. It was the day that Whatnot went down totally. I don't know if Jason told you about that, but it was a little crazy. It just like shut down for everybody. Fortunately, I think Shalice's Closet came in and told me that she was on a show and it was across the board. But yeah, it was kind of crazy. Olá, meu amigo. Tudo bem? Boa noite. Hello, Sharon. So good to see you. Yeah, I was just in the middle of the show. I was almost to the end, actually. I was like, 4.5 hours into a 5-hour, 6-hour show. And all of a sudden they're like, we can't see it. We can't bid. It's not, and I wasn't able to run. All of a sudden I couldn't run anything. And so, yeah, it was kind of crazy. I was like, yeah, we're going to pause because we had to. And so, yeah, it was fun though. But we made it. We made it because we're professionals, or we masquerade as professionals periodically. Okay, let me see. This might be. Okay. As we go over here. Ugh. We have kind of a more pink Okay. Then we need to darken it again a little bit. This is just so cool to yeah, as he goes more over here, there's just no detail. It's just really cool. Then let's do this and a little bit here. And I use the paper to judge not only my colors, but values. So I'm kind of painting on these a little bit. So let's go in here. Okay. Let's go back and see where we can. I want to go in here, but I think I'm going to do a different, because this is going to be a different color palette. Some yellow. Okay. That needs to be more yellow. And we will do some yellow medium. I think I don't. That is a really soft brush, so I didn't want to use that. I think it's better to use a more firm brush for mountain Ugh, that is too green. So if it's green, we need to add a little red. Warm it up a little bit. Okay, now I want to start lightening this up as we come across. So we need muito obrigado. Muito obrigado. Okay. Ah. Kind of a hot mess, isn't it? This is way off, of course, but we're kind of getting there. Now that everything's covered, I'm going back and establishing some of the points that I want to emphasize. Hey there. What are the side dishes? What do you mean? It's good to see you, Bob G. I hope you're feeling well. Ah, yes. Roasted turkey. Yes, yes, yes. Close up, that is definitely the look. It is a hot mess. First glance, for sure. It is a hot mess. What I am doing is I am trying to do master copies of sections of this Thomas Moran painting so that I can learn how to better represent these kinds of images, as well as to learn some new techniques, because I want to eventually be able to paint the canyons around where I live in a way that brings in some of these techniques and this imagery. So that's what I'm doing, just trying to learn. want to take this and do some burnt umber and yellow, and I want to begin to over here we can do these trees. That sounds awful. I'm so sorry that hasn't improved. I will definitely keep my fingers crossed and prayers going that they are correct in 3 weeks. Although I hope it doesn't take 3 weeks. I would hope it'd be sooner than that, because you've been out of commission, or part-time commission or something. That's been really awful. Okay, it's sort of getting there. So what do I really need? I really need something like this. I really need... Oh, I guess that is not, I mean, it's helpful, but confirming that it's worth it. But man, to go through that, what a mess. I'll just be glad when you're on the other side of it, as will you, I know. You know, I am not too displeased with this. It is not anywhere perfect, but it is not bad either. I think it definitely gives the spirit of the original. Okay, I want to go back here. I think just do a little bit of touch up. Oh, no. We'll just take some of the white spots here. Not bad for a first effort, but I am definitely getting faster in getting to where I want to be with this subject matter. I wasn't going to do another week of this because, you know, painting cliffs is probably not too entertaining to watch, but I really I wanted to learn some things about tightening my value range, which I feel like I've done some decent work on. Still, there is work to do, but it's not bad. Not bad. You can tell what this is, what it should be. Let me back up a little bit so you can see the reference in mine. This is darker, a little bit darker. Let's see. I wonder, can we do some purple and lighten it up? And I think it looks like definitely he painted layers on layers, so that's going to be a little bit different than what I did. But not too bad. Not too bad for college try. Ugh. Mine's a little chunky. I didn't blend a lot of these spots in because that was intentional. This is, I think, out of value range. Blending it a little bit helps. All right. I think I am going to wrap it a few minutes early just because it is so hot this evening that I got what I wanted done, and I am a little, I don't know, drained from the heat in this attic, especially under these lights. So I'm going to clean up a little bit and then say good night to you all. But I'm proud of where we are, and I think it's a good place to pause. I think I will continue. I maybe not Thomas Moran, but I want to look at some Bierstadt as well. And maybe some other, I need to do some more research on other artists like those, because I would like to, I don't necessarily like the big grand scale, you know, idealized West is not my ultimate goal, but being able to create those landscapes and those feelings is. And so I want to work on that. But there is another artist that I want to do some studies of. He's a contemporary artist and does some brilliant work of the style that, like, if I could just click my magic wand and paint like him, that is how I would paint. So I want to take a look at that for sure. Okay, let me switch you back here, and we will get rid of all these extras. Let me turn this around. Y'all, it is so nice. A couple weeks ago, I don't know if y'all noticed this, but I got a wireless mic that just snaps, or it's a, what is it? It is a magnet on my shirt. I should have done this years ago. I was hopping a wire all the time, rearranging all these cords. Oh my goodness. This is so much easier. So much easier. All right, let me switch you back here. Okay. All right, well, I want to say thank you for joining me. Let me kind of take my reference down. So we did the first week. Where's that one? We did this one. Second week, we did this one on the painting. They're not in scale. Third week is this one. So you can see this one and this one are like this was a section from this one. But I'm seeing consistency now. Like I can tell these are from the same painting, which is really cool. So that makes me really happy. So, anywho, appreciate you hanging with me. And yeah, I want to say thank you. I will be back next Monday night at 6 p.m. Mountain Time. I don't think there's anything else. But I hope you have a great week. And yeah, and we will see you next time, everybody. Have a good night.